Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Whether you're in need of a website, domain or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. A couple of weeks ago, I put out my first TikTok, looking for people to photograph on large format. And it went fairly well. And all the people that I'm photographing in this video got in contact through seeing that TikTok and have invited me into their homes to take their portrait, which is really cool. It's definitely like a strange experience, particularly after the year or so we've had. Being invited into someone's personal space just seems even more weird than normal. And using photography as a barrier to break down this and meet some new people and hopefully give them the gift of a photo of themselves, which hopefully they like. And I mean, how often does someone offer to take your photo on a camera like this? It's a pretty rare occurrence. The first person I photographed was Kelsey.
My name is Kelsey Ellison. I am an actor, dancer and social media content creator, and I live in London. I'm trying to embrace part of my disability. I haven't shown my eye on camera with my eye out. I only started doing that a year ago, and I just thought it'd be a really cool way to celebrate that and have that on film.
I'm really glad that Kelsey was so sure of being photographed without their eye in, because I think that is one of the key factors in what makes this such an open and honest portrait. I think the second one, which is a bit closer in, is actually really good. The depth created by using large format and camera movements works so perfectly, allowing me to render the whole face in focus even though they're gazing into the distance. I think this is actually the best photo I've made so far in this series. Something about it is just kind of everything I was aiming for this series to be, just portraits of people inside their personal spaces, kind of letting down their guard a bit, after a year of what feels like everyone being even more private and locked away. Something that I'm really struggling with whilst trying to document making this series is the balance between being present in the moment and photographing, and also trying to kind of multitask getting some footage and filming who I'm with. Because primarily, the most important thing to me during this is the photograph. That's the end result which I'm looking for. And kind of the experience that the person that's sitting for the photograph, it's kind of all about their experience and not kind of distracting them with video. And there is this weird kind of thing that large format does where it's quite a slow process to taking a portrait, and it doesn't really register in someone's mind as a normal camera. I feel like when you ask someone to say something in video, they can quite often tense up and kind of freeze up and look uncomfortable if they're not used to it. And I think a lot of the time, large format helps to break that down. Someone that isn't used to modelling can find it easier to pose for a picture because it doesn't really resemble a camera. And because it takes so long to actually set the focus and get ready to take the photo, they've kind of let their guard down by the time you're ready to hit the button. And I think coming in and trying to film them whilst doing that, I'm just worried it doesn't work for the photo as well as it could. I think it will result in a less open portrait, is what I'm saying. And also, I just can't spread myself too thin. I think I would get distracted. It's a lot of camera to operate when I try to use this thing, and worrying about a second camera on a tripod getting extra video is just maybe a bit too much, that something's going to suffer. And now I have thought about bringing someone with me and having them help me film, but I'm also worried that this might kind of ruin the interaction as well, that it is special that these strangers have invited me into their homes, and the conversation that we have leading up to taking their portrait, I think probably does play an impact on how open they'll come across in the photo. So basically what I'm trying to say is, I'm sorry I didn't film much. I don't really have the answer yet. Maybe you can leave me a comment and let me know how you envision this being delivered. So the next person I photographed was Elliott. Something so amazing about 8x10 is the ability to just get an insane amount of detail whilst still having such a shallow depth of field. You just can't compete with it. The background really does just melt away, yet you still have the resolution and the detail to really capture someone vividly. So when I started this project, I only had about 30 sheets of film left, and I've gone past that now. I should have stopped taking these photos, but I don't want to. I'm going to keep buying some more film, and I think it's mainly down to actually just the experience of photographing people. It's been really nice to meet some new people and give them something. I feel like with a lot of the photography that I'm into, the photographer normally wins. They're the one that gets this photo that they get to share around, not the subjects within it. It's nice to just take some photos and give them to people. So I'm still looking for people to photograph for this. So if you live in the UK, or you know someone in the UK that's got like an interesting story or something unique about them, or they just look cool, send me a message on Instagram, maybe we'll shoot. And finally, I'd like to thank Squarespace again for sponsoring this video. If you're looking to build a new website, whether you simply want to purchase a domain, maybe you want to start a blog or an online store, or you want to build a portfolio for your business or your creative work, all of this and much, much more is made so simple with Squarespace. Squarespace is an amazing all-in-one platform for building websites. There's an incredible variety of different themes to get you started, and you definitely don't need any prior web building experience to build a really professional, amazing looking website. It's all drag and drop. You don't need to know how to code or do anything tricky. Anyone can build an amazing, professional looking website with no prior experience. There also is amazing 24/7 customer support if you do happen to come into any trouble. There's also great features built in for people like photographers, which I'm guessing maybe if you watch this you are, whether it's scheduling shoots through your calendar or much, much more. I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you're probably a creative person and you need a portfolio for yourself online to display your work in the best way possible. And Squarespace really is the easiest way to do this. It's so easy to carve out your little section of the internet to display your work on in the way that you want to at a really high quality. And because it's so simple, it leaves you with much more time to be out there in the field creating the artwork instead of sat behind a screen trying to figure out how to code and how websites work. It's just so simple. So if you want to build yourself a lovely new website today, you can do so by following the link in the description or using the code negative feedback to get 10% off your order. So, what are you waiting for? Go and get yourself a lovely new website with Squarespace today. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this video was enjoyable, and we'll see you again very soon.